as to how cheating is done. See, according to service tax is payable on the entire value. Okay, entire value. Here, logically, the service tax should be calculated after including this 80 rupees. Logically speaking, service tax should be calculated after including this 80 rupees as service charges. That's how it should be done. But what they have done, this 80 rupees they have taken separately, service charges. And according to valuation rule 2C, that is in case of restaurant services, so the entire value of service on that 40% is taxable service tax and VAT is on the balance portion. Actually the balance portion should be calculated, okay. But what they would have done, they would have taken the food plus service tax, on that VAT would have been charged, okay. But there is another practice wherein VAT will not be calculated on 20 rupees. Okay, actually VAT should be calculated on what portion? 400 into 60% into 14.5. See how much? 400 into 60% into 14.5. 35. Okay. And then on the service charges, sir, will department keep quiet? They are collecting service charges 20%. It is not service tax. This is just to manipulate people they are collecting. In the name of service tax, they will collect. But actually, it is not service tax. It is mere service charges. What they should do? On these 80 rupees, they have to treat it as their income. That is, income means revenue. Revenue from services. And they have to pay service tax. 12.36 divided by 112.36. Assuming that this 80 rupees is inclusive of service, they should pay service tax. So 18 to 12.36 by 112.36. How much? 8.80. This is the amount of service tax they should pay. Okay, but they will never pay. Got it? So tomorrow you bring the bill, we'll discuss. Because we have valuation rule 2C. There I will explain all these combinations. Okay. Next. Activity for consideration. Already discussed. What is the meaning of consideration and how consideration should be? It should be direct and it should be immediate. Activity without consideration is not service and consideration without activity is also not service. Then we forget to discuss one point, that consideration can be moved by a person other than the service recipient. Consideration can be moved by a person other than the service recipient. Okay. Example, there is a holding company and subsidiary company. Okay. X Limited is holding company and Y Limited is subsidiary company. There is a service provider. Okay. Say for example, internet services. Internet services. This internet service provider is providing internet services to both subsidiary company as well as holding company. But the entire payment they received only from holding company, because there is a practice that this holding company will make full payment and 50% it will raise debit note to subsidiary company. You know right, this debit note concept. What is this debit note? Whenever one person, say for example, two companies are related, same holding subsidiary relationship. Now, when one company is raising debit note to other, which means that they may be sharing some common resources. They may be sharing some common resources. For example, both this holding company and subsidiary company will be located in the same premises. When they both are located in the same premises, what holding company will do? Towards rent. Actually, subsidiary company has to pay, right? So towards rent, the property is in the name of holding company. So holding company will raise a debit note to subsidiary company stating that this is the amount of rent you have to pay. This raise a debit note stating that this is the amount of electricity you have to pay. And it will raise a debit note that this is the expenditure we already paid, half of it pertains to your thing, so please pay us. Got it? This is the concept of raising debit note. In the same way, subsidiary company will also raise debit note to holding company. Okay, clear? So now, holding company has made the payment of internet charges and it will raise debit note to subsidiary company. Now, this service provider is telling that I provided services to subsidiary company, but I am getting money from holding company. So this is not taxable because consideration I am not receiving from the service recipient. Can he take this stand? Can he take this stand? No. Consideration should be received from the service recipient. Is there any condition like that? Consideration should be received? No. Consideration must be present in the transaction. It does not mean consideration should be received only from service recipient. The consideration can be received even from another person other than service recipient. In our case, the holding company is paying. One more example. See, there is a manufacturer, say TVS Limited is manufacturer of two-wheelers. Okay. And there is a dealer, ABC Dealers. And Mr. X is the buyer of this two-wheeler. Okay. Now, TVS Limited will sell two-wheelers to dealers, and the dealer will in turn sell it to the buyer. Okay. Now, if you see the pricing will be like this. Say 25,000 is towards the vehicle cost and add warranty charges. The warranty portion will be there. The warranty portion will be say to the tune of 5,000 rupees and 30,000 is collected from dealers. But dealer should have a markup, right? Dealer should have a markup. So what dealer will do? The same 25,000, 5,000, he cannot add markup on the warranty charges. He cannot add markup on the warranty charges. So he will add markup here. Say the markup comes to some 7,500. This is his markup. So how much he will charge to buyer? 25,000 plus 7,500 plus 5,000. 37,500. 37,500. Now, buyer is making payment of 37,500. ABC dealers will deduct how much? 7,500 and will pay balance 30,000 to manufacturer. Got it? What is the need of this 7,500? It is pure markup for the dealer because dealer need to recover some expenses, minimum expenses. He has started business. He need to pay rent. He need to pay electricity. I'm not talking about service. Service comes next. I'm talking about sale. So he need to pay rent to the showroom. He need to incur lot of expenses and it should be enticing for him to do the business. So that's why 7,500 is his profit. Okay. Not profit, it is his revenue. His revenue. Okay. So now, what happens here? Now the vehicle will be given for servicing with the dealer. Actually, servicing is also provided by dealers. So vehicle will be given for servicing with the dealer and the servicing will be free. Because first few services will be free, right? After sale service. So it is the first after sale service wherein the vehicle, the two-wheeler is given to the dealer. Dealer will change the engine oil, will incur some expenses, correct? While service. Now, the expenses came to 1,000 rupees. Expenses came to 1,000 rupees. And Mr. X has not paid even a single rupee. He gave it for service and he took the vehicle and he walked out. Got it? Now, this 1,000 rupees is a reimbursable expenditure to ABC dealers from TVS Motors. Understood? How? Why? Because that 5,000 rupees is towards what? Warranty charges and it is paid to the manufacturer. The entire amount is paid to the manufacturer. I am doing the service and the amount is 1,000 rupees and this is the proof. What is the proof? Coupon. The dealer, that is a buyer, when he is giving the vehicle for service, he will give a free coupon. And in that coupon, we will mention what is the vehicle number, etc., etc. And for that, we will attach a bill. What is that bill? Whatever the service charges incurred, so that we will send it to TVS Motors, wherein TVS Motors will reimburse the 1000 rupees. Okay. Sir, instead of doing this, why can't ABC dealers retain that 5000 rupees? Because a buyer who bought a vehicle from one dealer may not give it for servicing with the same dealer. He may give it for service with another dealer. So in that case, when one dealer retains amount, it is difficult. So that's why it is sent to the manufacturer. Okay. Now, ABC dealers is arguing that I have not got, even though I have provided service, but I have not got any consideration from the buyer. I provided service to buyer. I am not getting any consideration from buyer. Then you got 1000 rupees. That 1000 rupees is an amount which is received by me and I will treat it as my profit. It is not service charges. Can he take that stand? Now tell me. From whom the consideration is received? Manufacturer. So, the consideration can be received from a person other than the service recipient. What matters here is whether consideration is present in the transaction or not. Okay? Understood? So this is the last point. Activity for consideration. In activity for consideration, you can see the last point. Consideration may be paid by a person other than the person receiving the benefit of service. No? Dealer. Who is providing service? Dealer. Who is getting consideration? Dealer is getting consideration. Okay? He is receiving. TVS Limited. Why? Because already it collected from the buyer. Okay?
So in this case, we will be paying it in the beginning, right? Because they receive the consideration for this going to use service. So at that point of transaction, whether the amount is received first before giving the service, then we pay the return on that, right?
But we don't know what will be the actual amount of service amount, right? If I pay, say for example, if TVS pays on the entire amount of 5000 rupees service tax, we don't know as to what is the actual amount. The entire 5000 may not be chargeable to service because there involves transfer of property in goods. Correct. There involves transfer of property in goods because when we are servicing, we will not only provide service. There will be some like parts also. There will be some movable parts, replacement of parts. So we will not know what is the exact amount. So instead of paying and again going for refund, that will be very complicated procedure. So don't think about one vehicle. Think about n number of vehicles, n number of dealers. Every time they cannot pay and get the reimbursement, right? I mean, get the refund, right, from service tax department. So that's why only after arriving at what is the actual value, then only the service tax should be paid. And that's why it has been pushed down to dealers. It is easy for the dealers to maintain service tax payments, but it is very difficult for the manufacturer to maintain. Okay, that's right. So when you think more number of, the quantum, when the quantum increases, this will be very useful. Okay, why to take the strain? So let the dealers make the payment. So dealers should pay. Then we have meaning of service provider and service recipient in the material. Already I discussed who is service provider, who is service recipient, and even meaning of person. You can see that we have a definition for person, section 65B, subsection 37, individual, HUF, firm, LLP, AOP or BOI, whether incorporated or not, company, cooperative society, government, a local authority or every artificial juridical person not falling within any of the preceding subclauses. Even a local authority is person. If local authority provides any services, it is also required to pay service tax. Okay. Okay, tell me, what about who is artificial juridical person? Company is artificial juridical person. Huh? In income tax, have you studied or not? Who is artificial juridical person? No. But you know that in the definition of person, there is artificial juridical person. Who? Anyone from Andhra? Lord Venkateshwara is artificial juridical person. Yes, he has to pay income tax. has to pay all taxes. Okay, he is not exempted. Even though he is not alive, but he is also paying tax. Okay. Now God is not an exception, sir. He's paying huge amount of taxes. He is not an exception. And you know what happened? There is one case. Generally in Tirumala, for pilgrims, accommodation will be provided. And for providing accommodation,